Hi,
Okay.
Steve.
Hey, how you doing? Good to see
Good.
y'all.
Same here.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all showing up very much. Thank you so much for registering for this very special LinkedIn live event. You're going to meet Lisa a little bit in a little bit. She's going to be doing part of this presentation. Just so pleased to have her on here. We're partners of the Intrinsic School of Feng Shui, and we're in our fifth year now, which is hard to believe, but yeah, we are in our fifth year. And I think you're going to find out there's an awful lot of potential niches that could be very much fun and very lucrative for you if you decide to join us with all of this stuff.
Mhm.
So anyway, the potential of feng shui for a career for full-time or part-time, and what are some of the niches and how lucrative can they be is our topic for this sort of short 20-minute presentation. And again, we're the partners of the Intrinsic School of Feng Shui. We created it, and we train, certify, and mentor new consultants. And we've been doing that now for quite a few years, and we have a lot of, I think, fairly happy students because they're successful. The logo is to the right for the new consultants, and then we also certify people in the real estate industry, and it's not just real estate agents. It's home stagers, interior designers, and even homeowners. And our program actually certifies people in two different areas. And you start off with part one and you become certified as a feng shui staging professional. We were awarded the rating of gold standard school by our governing board, the International Feng Shui Guild, several years ago. And we're very pleased about that. Our students are always very successful, and frankly, if they're not, we're really upset about the whole thing. We want to make sure everybody does their best. So many feng shui consultants like being outside. They like looking at all types of environments and even meeting people. And that's fantastic. But you can also do this business totally online if you want to. That's come to the forefront because of what we've been through the last few years. Everybody's using Zoom at this point. I know Lisa and myself both do a fair amount of our business now online. And this business can be done anywhere, including on your vacation, if you so wish. You can supplement your income immediately after part one, which is 6 weeks long. And it's starting on the 9th of this month. You can make it a full-time business after finishing part two, and we'll talk about part two. And if you finish part two, then you are fully certified as a new consultant forever and ever, and you're going to be able to help everyone. And as I always like to throw in there, and it's a great way to stay very active into retirement, more and more people in their 60s and the 70s do not want to just stay at home and watch TV. They want to stay active, and they know that it's important to them. A lot of you know that I'm fairly heavily into LinkedIn. And this is a sort of the way I started my business, you might say, in a lot of ways. I've been involved well over 12 years. So I wanted to show you some of the numbers that show up for people that really could use feng shui. And a lot of these Lisa and I have been involved with. You may or may not know that health is a big thing in feng shui. So anybody that shows up in health and wellness, and you can see the numbers, I hope, they're really big. And these people are very interested also. People in renovation, Lisa's going to be talking about that because she's really into that part of things. And lighting experts, you can see the numbers are quite high. But here's some that are smaller, but again, very feasible for you if you really wanted to get into just these niches: color consulting, clutter control, stress reduction. And then on this final thing on this slide, I wanted to show you all of these things because every office out there certainly probably could use some feng shui help. And so it's definitely a niche that you could become really at the top of things. Here's some more stats for you. And I'm going to zero in on a couple of them for a little bit. Interior design, again, one of Lisa's big things. She's really, really strong at this and does very well with this. Real estate investors, this might be a lot of interest to all of you, not just realtors. A lot of investors are looking for that home that's going to be easy to work with, easy to flip, easy to rent. So it's definitely high up on a list. There are tons of real estate agents on this site, okay? And you'll find out that that really is a feature of our part one quite a bit. And then I'm going to highlight school teachers, which might surprise you, but there are 6.2 million school teachers on here. Most of them are getting ready to start back to school right now. And believe it or not, elementary school teachers especially could use your help. They have very unique classrooms, okay? Much more than a middle school or high school, even though they at times could definitely use help too. But elementary teachers definitely could use your help with respect to going from one stage to another. All type of holistic workers want their environment to feel special for their clients. And the numbers are staggering for people that are involved with different avenues that could be very much connected to what we do, whether we're talking Reiki, yoga, so many other things. Big, big numbers out there.
Right in the doorway.
So from a CEO to a newbie, the numbers are again pretty staggering. Please do me a favor and put your thing on mute, please. So many entrepreneurs, like in Feng Shui, like you possibly, worry about these three questions. Who am I going to prospect? How am I going to do that? Where am I going to prospect them? We handle that in our school better than anybody else. We teach you how to use LinkedIn. That's one thing. But we'll also show you other ways to handle these questions so you succeed. Again, if you don't succeed, we don't succeed. So some of you probably know this, but I actually teach LinkedIn nationwide. I also teach it as a CE class for real estate agents in Florida. So to me, it's a very, very important component that you need to learn. And we have a module that's over 2 hours long to teach you how to use it for prospect. So how I got started myself. See, I was a realtor myself for about 20 years and also owned a 34 agent real estate company in Charlotte, North Carolina. So it made sense that this is how I first dipped my toe into Feng Shui when I decided to get away from real estate. So I help people stage homes and working with realtors. And it is a very lucrative way of doing things. Again, part one of our training, which is 6 weeks long, which starts on August the 9th, takes you through this process. So whether you like staging homes or not, this is really going to give you a tremendous heads up on how to get going. So whether it's outside or inside, you know, we've got the whole thing covered for you in those first 6 weeks. So you might know this about Feng Shui, but a home or really any environment has to feel safe and comfortable on all levels to sell. That's true for offices and anything. So Feng Shui handled this for me really, really well when I was a realtor. So I'm going to introduce you now to my better half of our Feng Shui team, Lisa Albin, and again, she's sort of my yin to my yang. Okay, here you go, Lisa.
Oh, that's so nice. We also call each other partner in crimes. Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa. I also am a Feng Shui consultant, owning my own consultancy, as well as being Steve's partner in training with the Intrinsic School of Feng Shui. I am also holding a board chair position with the International Feng Shui Guild, which we talk a lot about throughout our entire course because You're going to be most successful when you're not operating as a silo, when we're operating as a team, as a network, and as a community. And that's really important to us. One of the niches that may interest you in Feng Shui is evaluating personal homes. Obviously, that's a great place to get inside, evaluate not only how a person is functioning within their home, but how they feel, right? That's what determines how they feel at home. Outside is very important in Feng Shui. A lot of times people think the inside is the only place that Feng Shui can occur. Energy starts outside of a home, right? So as a consultant, you can evaluate how is energy, how are visitors being greeted into a home, an office space, even as we'll talk about a little bit later. Landscape design is an opportunity for you to take a look at the Feng Shui and the elements as they occur within gardens, within front landscapes. And there's so much opportunity to really nourish your clients into creating environments using gardens, entryways, walkways, all types of gardens and porches. Creating oasis, you'll see if you Google that, is a big desire. And that's something that Steve and I talk about a lot in our work. Very beautiful. Here's some outdoor backyard oasis as well. Very popular this summer in my area, creating those outdoor backyard oasis where you can really escape and pretend you're at that 5-star resort, disconnecting from the busyness of the day. And those are all things that can be touched with Feng Shui. You can work a lot with new construction. A lot of times people bring us into a home after it's been constructed. And yes, there are things that we can do within an environment to correct or cure an environment to make sure that it's more Feng Shui and more harmonious. But there's no more opportune time than to be brought in at the beginning of a process to work with the building, the blueprints, putting together the floor plans, where the windows go, where the doors go, which materials are selected. These are all Feng Shui decisions that are to be made. And when you can be brought in, it can help the team be more productive in building a house that is most suitable to the occupant. Now, we alluded to a little bit earlier the importance of office productivity. This goes for commercial businesses, storefronts. Being able to have a Feng Shui business is optimal. And this again means greeting them from the outside, bringing that energy inside and cultivating it so that the occupants within can be more productive, more focused, happier. They'll stick around a little bit longer, lower that attrition rate, and hiring the best people. There's so much to be considered with evaluating a business. You can look at each person in their roles. What are their elements that keep them most satisfied? How you can reduce the visual clutter, the mental clutter, therefore, and allow them to really focus in on those missions and values that are so very important to keeping a business alive today. A workroom, a shared workroom. Steve says this is a common workroom for realtors. So I hope not. If this is your common workplace, this would be a great place for you to bring your Feng Shui knowledge in and help those that are working with you in your office environment right now. And the most popular thing you're seeing on LinkedIn right now are home offices, because more and more people are desiring to work from home. That started more popular during the pandemic and now is sticking around. You'll see that people are desiring, when they're shopping for their home, when they're searching for their dream home, that it has an ideal spot for them to place their desk, has that ideal spot for them to have that separation and focus in. We're going to show you a quick survey of the workers in USA going in there. There's only a small percent, 5%, that want to work in office full time. And then more and more want to work in hybrid arrangements. Many of you may be in that yourself. 54% want to work fully remote. So that home office space is a great opportunity and could just be your niche that you focus on in Feng Shui and coming into people's homes and creating spaces that are optimal for them. It's important to bring in the harmonious elements from the outdoors, the 5 earthly elements that we teach in our program, and bringing those into harmony within office spaces. We talk a lot about creating sanctuaries for clients. You may hear oftentimes that your environments can become your boards for creating the goals that you desire. We desire places where we can recharge, where we can feel inspired, where we can feel nourished and grounded. It's a chaotic place outside. And let's be honest, if we're stressed out and overwhelmed, we're not channeling our energy into things that are productive and creative and strategic, are we? This niche can be your specialty. One of the greatest demands that we find in our work is people want us to focus in on their bedrooms, right? Their primary bedrooms, their office spaces, their reading rooms, any place where someone feels most comfortable to really be themselves and to recharge. Really beautiful. And this could be, again, that office space. So as part of my consultancy, I focus a lot on interior design and renovation. You may desire to do that as well too. We talk a lot about that throughout our course. And it can start from walking into a client's home and evaluating, seeing how they live their life and realizing that their choices are not best suited, right? Everything is around being inviting and comfortable and attractive. Here we're looking at some fronts of a house. You can imagine a before, and here's an after of what it can look like. What are the opportunities in creating spaces using the elements of nature, bringing in color and vibrancy? A little bit of color goes a long way, right? There's a before again, and taking a look at the after. You can see the significant change of just a facelift and how much more inviting that looks. Easier to find that front door, right? Here's a project I worked on a few years back. You may be seeing a lot more modern homes in your neighborhoods. There's not a lot of opportunity for warmth in these homes. And in this space, this room in this large house was never even touched until we constructed a fireplace that had seating and warmth. And in this space in particular, we were nourishing all of the 5 elements in this space, and it's their most used room in the house at this time. So there's lots of opportunity to get into spaces. And if you love to get personal with people, to help people, we're all helpers in what we do. And when you're able to transform people's spaces, you're able to help transform their lives. And it's really a very nourishing career, very lucrative, making lots of connections with helpful people in all parts. So like Steve said, while a lot of this work we're doing, getting inside of people's houses, you can also do a lot of this work online. I'd say about over 50% of what I do is online consultations, advisement, and there's a lot that can be done with Feng Shui. Really, really great. So is that kicking it back to you, Steve?
All right, thank you, Lisa. That was great. As she mentioned, there are many lucrative ways to do this, and we help a lot with your marketing. So please keep that in mind. Of course, finding the perfect home, you think of right away, you think of a realtor, but it doesn't have to be. I know when I was out of real estate and I was just entirely into feng shui, I was being hired to go along with people to particular houses, especially when they narrowed it down to 3 or 4. So to me, this was always a lot of fun, trying to find a place that you might be their dream home. So again, this could be part of you, what you do as a niche. And I love this particular photo because this sort of represents what we're all after. We want people to really feel fantastic about what they have just located and found. Also, making a business a magnet for success. I've done some fairly strange ones in my lifetime, and it's a lot of fun working with a particular business to try to make it a lot stronger. So here's an example of something that was for sale and how it was turned into a beautiful restaurant just because they decided they wanted to have some help. But even inside, maybe you like this look, But this could be changed more magnetically here in a grocery store to something looks like this. So you can get involved with a lot of things. And like I said, I have been involved, as has Lisa, with businesses that just want to be more productive and more magnetic to the outside. You might like the idea of speaking. We get paid for this too. So here's a picture of both of us at different avenues that we enjoy. And so it's something that you might want to look into too, because there's a lot of people that are interested. And you just have to be creative of where you're going to do this, whether it's a garden club, a women's club, or whatever. There are a lot of possibilities that people want to hear from you. One of my favorite niches is universal design. And if you don't know what universal design is, it's actually creating an environment that is really good for older folks and also people that are disabled. And Feng Shui really does a great job with this. So Feng Shui can promote better health for folks that are in this situation, give them a better sense of security, reduces their injury. Boy, that's a big thing. And that is one thing that Feng Shui does. We look around and look around for things that could possibly be a problem for anybody. It creates more comfort for them, it improves their mental well-being. It's attractive to all five of their senses. And yeah, it even strengthens the relationships. These golden years, sometimes they're not terribly golden for some. And, you know, we certainly love doing this kind of stuff. So you as their mentor can make a huge difference in their lives, huge difference. And this is a very lucrative niche. There's a lot of people that are looking for some help, special kind of help. Maybe you've never thought about green building, which is now, of course, a big thing. But Feng Shui really weds itself beautifully to this. And so using nature outside, boy, can you become a hero really quickly if you learn how to do this. You can make it much more comfortable for them 12 months a year by doing some of these things that we're going to talk about. But it also, you're going to be a hero because you're going to save on their utility bills if you take this information to heart. So here's an example. If you know anything about Feng Shui, we're always trying to create a buffer or a mountain behind a house. So we're always trying to get a situation behind them that gives them that added support on a subconscious level. So using evergreens, for example, where they don't lose leaves can be very advantageous. But then putting the deciduous trees in the right places really help an awful lot. So in the summer, you know, you'll be able to cut down a lot of the sun and the heat that comes in the windows. And then in the winter, when the leaves come off and the sun is lower, you're still going to be able to bring some of that into a house and make it cheery. Creating healthy environments. I'm sure Lisa would agree with me. This is one of the things that often people are interested in. You know, certainly wealth is one of them, but health environments maybe are the most important thing. Without it, let's face it, you're not going to be able to enjoy that wealth. So, you know, whether you're just worrying about clutter control and getting them organized, certainly something that a lot of people could use help with. That's one thing. But you're going to find out that Feng Shui has really developed a great deal in a lot of ways over the last 50 years. We now check for EMF, electrical magnetic fields, using a monitor like you see there. We do an awful lot in our school with worrying about toxic chemicals and going over modules about plants, particular plants and how they work with respect to that. And of course, making sure that people get a great night's sleep. So health is a big thing in Feng Shui. We like to quote an awful lot of research and studies that back things up. So when you talk to somebody and they're not sure about something, you can actually back it up with research that we give you. So here's one that was done by the University of Technology in Sydney about Particular indoor plants reduce stress. And you can see that it has a big drop for depression, anger, and even fatigue. Here's another one. The right plants are going to increase productivity. And they also reduce sickness and absentee rates. And again, that's the bottom line for a lot of businesses, and they'll love that you can take care of that situation. So again, we back up a lot of what we do with research and studies. We think it's important for you to know that. And again, we do a large module on indoor plants, and we do a large module on landscaping, which is very, very pivotal, whether you're selling or staying or whatever. Now, part one normally is $395. For this class coming up on August 9th, we're doing a special. It's $345. And again, after the 6 weeks, you actually can start making some money. The 2-month payment plan is $185 for each month if you'd rather do it that way instead of paying full. And you'll be able to, again, start making some income after 6 weeks. No other Feng Shui school does it this way. We want to make sure that you are right away on the fast track. And again, this teaches you how to stage, but again, there's so much more to it than just staging a home for selling. And then if you decide to continue on, part two is $1,600. There's a 5-month payment plan available for you at $333 a month, and you become a certified professional consultant forever, and you'll be able to run your own business. And by doing that, you can supplement your income if you want to hold on to your old job, or you can make it a full-time business. And again, we help people do these things. But again, you can use it into retirement if you'd like to. So we register with you with the International Feng Shui Guild. We also pay for your first year membership. Nobody else does that. We mentor you for 2 months. I don't know how many people do that either. So we definitely want you to be successful in this whole thing. Part one, Feng Shui Staging Professional, starts on August the 9th and finishes on September 20th. These are the videos and dates for the webinars. And so a lot of it is going to be with respect to you taking responsibility for watching the videos. So on August 9th, you're given these videos. Then on August 16th, we go over the information and review it. But we encourage you to email us before the next Wednesday with any questions that you have. We want to help you, I promise you. So this is the way we do the whole thing. And then you get your first certification at the end of this on the 20th of September. And if you can't make one of these webinars, don't fret. Don't stress out about it because they're all recorded if you have to miss it. Okay? And there again is the logo that you get for the first of 2 certifications. Then if you want to continue on, you start on October 4th, same process. We give you some videos. We then get together the next Wednesday. Again, we want to encourage you to keep up with us and don't wait till that next Wednesday. And there is the logo right there that you also receive. So again, there's no school that's going to give you 2 certifications. It's going to help with your marketing. We help with your marketing, and we'd love to have you get involved. So again, why don't you start in August and benefit from this forever, if you would. If you have any questions, you can contact office@intrinsicschooloffengshui.com, and we'd love to hear from you. If anybody has any questions right now before we stop, we'd be glad to answer them, or you can just use that email and we'll get back to you. Anybody have any questions for us? Okay, well, again, I appreciate you so much for registering. Lisa and I are looking forward to being able to work with you, and you have a great day, and we'll hopefully see you real soon. You all take care.